Donald Trump could still face a criminal trial over allegations he plotted to overturn his 2020 election defeat. A US federal appeals court rejected his claim that the executive immunity he enjoyed while president protects him from prosecution in this case, which relates to the January 6 Capitol riots. The Trump campaign spokesperson claimed the ruling, quote, threatens the bedrock of our republic. Steve Clemons has his finger on the pulse in DC. Steve, can you explain to us how the court concluded that Trump doesn't have immunity in this case?
Well, they decided that he is not President Trump in this case. He is citizen Trump, and that to, basically argue that he has immunity is to say that he is beyond the other branches of government. And so they're basically saying, hey, gravity works even for you, Mr. Former President. And that is basically the very tightly written decision that they've made. And it's the first time in history, actually, a court has decided this, that a president is, in fact, not immune for any potential criminal actions he or she takes in office.
But does that mean if he were to become President Trump again and he was convicted for this, that he would have the capacity to pardon himself?
Well, that is also another arena of law we haven't seen before. Not only has a court not weighed in on this before, we haven't seen a president pardon himself before. But look, we've been debating this for some time. Donald Trump believes he has the power to pardon himself, but it would be contested. And clearly, I think if Donald Trump were to win again, I think he's going to pardon himself and a lot of other people, too.
I feel like you need a cut lunch and a whiteboard to follow Trump's legal problems at the moment. How much closer, Steve, is Trump to facing prosecution in this particular case?
He is a lot closer because this is one of the pending questions on whether he did have immunity for what he did. Now the court's decision paves the way for this trial to begin fairly soon. While it could be appealed to the Supreme Court, this is looking like it will go to trial and go to, the case will begin before the election takes place.
Steve, for the best part of the past decade, we've kind of been asking, is this the thing that sticks with Donald Trump? Is this like the new normal? Like, does any of it even matter? Is there just always going to be something else with him tied up in the courts?
It makes Donald Trump exciting. It makes him interesting. We already know that Donald Trump's supporters really don't care that much if he is convicted, if he's a convicted felon running for office. We've already kind of played that out in the press and the polls. So, does it keep him from running? No, it doesn't. It just adds another chapter to the Donald Trump soap opera.
How is Joe Biden still looking like he may lose to this bloke? Is it just ineptitude on the Democrats' part?
Maybe, I don't mean this facetiously. Joe Biden doesn't have court cases against him, really. He's a lot more boring in some ways. Look, I think to be serious, people are still smarting about inflation. They still see the price of eggs too high, and they blame Joe Biden for that. We have to remember 70% of Americans are frustrated that they have a Biden-Trump choice coming back at them again. So they want none of the above more than they want either Donald Trump or Joe Biden.
What about Michelle Obama? Perhaps these persistent rumours continue. Could she take Trump?
Well, there is a place called Fantasy Island where Michelle Obama comes in and saves the world, and that is where she may win against Donald Trump and win in the next election. But there doesn't seem to be a pathway for Michelle Obama to run in the American election yet.
Steve, some would say Fantasy Island is a place where the guy from Home Alone ends up being the President of the United States of America. That's already happened. That's one of the most exciting bits about the States.
Lots of things can happen on Fantasy Island.
De plane.
Steve, we'll let you get back to your fantasy. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.